Hey everybody, welcome to our weekend check-in video for Psych 45 research methods for Saturday, April 22nd. Getting to the end here pretty close. Let's go over a few things like I always do. First up, your most recent discussion on chapter 12 on the correlational strategy. Most of you did a really good job there, but some of you, when you tried to address that second prompt about a problem that goes along with interpreting correlations, you really need to make sure you label things when I ask you to do so, because some of you just kind of described a problem but didn't really identify it as a third variable issue or a directionality issue. And I did state very clearly at the end of the prompt that you needed to label it carefully, so make sure that you follow everything that's in the prompt there so you don't lose any points. So next up here is that your next chapter 13 on the descriptive strategy. That discussion is due next Friday, April 28th, and you're going to watch a little video this time and tell me what you think about it. So it's pretty interesting, so make sure you give yourself enough time to watch the video. Next up here is that your final literature review paper is due this coming Wednesday on the 26th. Don't forget, you'll find all the information you need in the dedicated APA literature review module underneath Unit 5 of our course material. And don't forget, when you open up those instructions for Component 3 in that APA Literature Review module, at the very top there's a little short how-to video where I show and tell you what you need to do, so make sure you watch that. It's about 10 minutes. It'll really make things easier for you in case you haven't done it already. And a little below that, you'll find I've inserted a file link there for it's called Instructions and Checklist for the final paper. Make sure you read those instructions carefully. You will find embedded hyperlinks there to samples of a title page, an abstract page, and a completed sample APA style literature review paper that takes you to the online writing lab, the OWL, or the OWL as it's called there, so do check that out. And also make sure you examine that checklist there as well. It's kind of a list of do's and don'ts, things you do want to have in your paper and things you definitely do not want to have in your paper, so do check that out. And don't forget, per a recent announcement about sample papers, you also have another sample paper in your pocket guide to APA style. If you go onto the MindTap platform and scroll down below chapter 15, there you'll find a link to the pocket guide. Just click it open. You'll see all the chapters pop out. Click on chapter 9. The first paper that's provided there, the paper on birth order, that's an APA style literature review paper. Both papers, the one on the OWL and the pocket guide, have all the annotations and everything along the paper to really kind of tell you why you have to have things formatted a certain way. So it's really great to have a model to work from. And make sure that when you turn in your paper, you have 8 full pages of literature review content. So not 7 1/4 and not 7 1/2, but 8 full pages minimum there of information that you found in your list of 10 references that support your topic and thesis statement. That's what you're supposed to write about. And so it's not a paper of lived experiences or personal anecdotes or your autobiography. It's about what the research says about your topic. Just like if you found a little mini chapter about your topic and thesis statement in a textbook, that's the presentation style, that's the tone, that's what you should be thinking about when you write the literature review. And don't forget, in addition to those 8 pages of literature review content, you have 3 more pages, a title page, an abstract page, and a page of references. So it's 11 pages altogether, but 8 pages are quote-unquote the meat and potatoes, the actual literature review itself there. And do make sure you incorporate any feedback from your outline that you did there regarding citation formatting, regarding the use of all 10 of your references, which you must cite all 10 of your references. Be careful about excessive quoting, so quoting isn't writing, so don't just put together block after block of quotes and join them together. That's going to cost you a lot of points if you do that, because that's not really writing when you do something like that. And do be careful not to cite sources that you don't have in your references. This is a review of the literature, that is what you have in your list of 10 references, and so do not cite sources you don't have already listed there. And by the way, while you're writing, if you feel you need to add some additional sources to your references, that's fine. And if you need to switch out some of your references because they're not going to work out the way you thought, that's fine too. So you're not married to your list of original 10 references there. But do make sure if you replace or add to any of them that there are at least 10 research reports there. So make sure that you've got that in there. Don't forget, there is a rubric file you'll find towards the bottom of the instructions there back in the APA module there, so take a look at that. It kind of shows how you're going to earn points for different parts or aspects of the paper. It's always kind of nice to see what how the point's going to be broken down there. And do keep in mind when you upload your paper, you're going to upload it in a submission area just like you did for the other two parts of the paper. It's going to be submitted to what's called Turnitin. Turnitin is a platform which, among other things, detects plagiarism, so it will show if you actually wrote this or somebody else wrote it. So be careful that you paraphrase any information you find in your sources there. And do take a look there in the instructions back in the module. There's a little section near the bottom, I think it's right above the rubric there, about plagiarism. I reproduced a table that's from chapter 4 of your textbook, which gives you a really excellent sample of what plagiarism looks like and what it doesn't look like. That is, what is proper paraphrasing. So do take a look at that simple table. It's really good to have an idea, because sometimes students think, hey, if I just change a few words and put a citation, that's not plagiarism. Well, it actually is, because you didn't really write that when you just rearrange a few words or sentence structures. So make sure you're careful about that, and you shouldn't have any problem. And don't forget, you've got the Reading and Writing Center available over there in the library, and they're available virtually too. They can help you out with all aspects of this paper, including any other writing assignment you've got in another course there, so do keep that in mind. Next up here, don't forget that your next exam is not coming up this coming week, but the following week, May 1st through May 3rd. Don't forget your Mind Tap assignments for 11, 12, and 13 will be due on the Sunday evening before there. That's April 30th. Just a reminder, you'll get an announcement early next week about that to just kind of keep you up to date on that. And other than that, certainly work ahead, get everything done as soon as you can, including your paper. I hate to see papers submitted late, so they lose points. So don't forget, if you do submit it late, per the policies you'll find in the instructions and submission area, it's 10% off for being late, and it's 5% additional for every 24-hour period after that. So please get it in on time, but you have up to 72 hours to submit it late. So if it's due on Wednesday on the 26th, that means you have Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday by 11:59 p.m. is the last time you can submit it, but there'll be a lot of points taken off just for being late, so be careful about that. Otherwise, I'll be on our live session there on Zoom on Monday at 11 o'clock as usual, so hope to see some of you there. So in the meantime, make sure you're watching those lecture videos, and if you need anything, reach out via email on Canvas and I'll get back to you. Otherwise, have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you here next week.